And again, this doesn't work. Now they may try and disassociate after a while here again, or they may try and suppress the emotion. I'll just endure it. I'll just keep pushing it down and I'll make it through it. I'll just endure it. That doesn't make it better either. Third way, what some people do, I don't know if you've ever seen this happen. I'm sure you've never done this. People compete to see who feels the worst. Some people do is they keep track of their emotions so they can share them with other people and compete. So somebody says, oh man, I feel like hell. Oh, you feel like hell. Let me tell you how I feel. You think you got a problem, let me tell you my problem. You think you got the biggest problem, check out my problem. It stands out to here. And people sit there and try and argue about who's got the worst problem. Right? Or the fourth thing that I don't have up there that I'd say, the fourth thing that people do is try and share their pain. Share their problem. They think, oh, I can get rid of my emotion by sharing with others. So they try and get other people to feel bad too. That way we'll be friends. We can share in the pain together. We must love each other. Are these very intelligent ways to deal with your emotions, yes or no? No, you don't want to avoid them. You don't want to endure them. You don't want to compete for who's got the biggest and worst emotion. Try and make yours worse than somebody else's. You don't want to share them. Make them feel bad too. What a friend you are. Instead, what you want to do is step 5. Learn from them and utilize them. You want to learn from them and utilize them. Now, in order to learn from them and utilize them, in order to change an emotion, we have to change what something what's to us. Starts with an M. We have to change what something what? Means to us. When we change what something means, we transform our emotion. We have a transformation. Does that make sense? In other words, if I'm feeling really upset about something, I'm angry, angry, angry. Do I have to communicate that to get off my anger? No, not necessarily. I'm angry because of the meaning I linked up. What if I change what it means in my head and I realize, hey, that's not what it means? Then will I feel angry, yes or no? Yes or no? If I'm really angry about something, I'm angry because of what I've linked up to it. I'm saying, well, I'm angry because they did that and that means this. But if I really analyze it and I look at it for a while and I go, God, that's a bunch of crap. It doesn't really mean that. Then I've transformed my feeling. Do I now have to go to that person and say, what you did made me angry? Yes or no? Yes or no? No, because I don't have that feeling. I truly don't have it. I'm not suppressing it. I've transformed it. Suppression, however, is when you keep the same meaning. That you keep the same meaning. You're upset about something and you keep the same meaning. You don't change the meaning. All you try and do is stuff the emotion. Try to pretend it's not there. That's suppression. So if you keep the same negative emotion, you don't change how you feel about it. You just try and pretend it's not there. That's suppression, and that's when you get in trouble. So our goal is not just to take things and not suppress them and just express whatever we feel, because if you just go express whatever you feel and you don't think it out, are you going to always communicate well, yes or no? No, in fact, you may say things later on you'll regret in the heat of the moment because you're in state. So what you first want to do is see if you can transform it, honestly and sincerely, and if you can't, then your goal is to get someone to help you to transform it. Go to the source and get the source to help you to transform this. So you know what, I felt this way about this. I made up this bizarre meaning. I know it's not true, because I know who you really are. But this is like a crap I did in my head. Can you help me? I need to change this. Can you give me some more information or some feedback or help me to clarify this thing? I kind of screwed this up in my brain, because I know that's not what you meant. That's what I did inside my head. Can you help me out? Is that different than, you know something? The other day when you did this, I felt this, which by the way implies what they did made you feel something. Is that true, yes or no? Does anybody do anything and make you feel something? Yes or no? Yes or no? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now you have a right to feel the way you feel, but that isn't true. That it's actually what made you feel that way. You chose to make yourself feel that way. You communicated that to yourself. So instead of saying, when you did this, that made me feel this, that's implying that somebody made you do something, and that takes responsibility away from the one person who can change your life, meaning you. So I request in the future this. Nothing wrong with any of that. What we want to do is enhance it. The way we want to enhance it is come from the place of, I'm communicating because I want to transform something and I'm responsible, not them. You know, I need your help. I need your help. The other day when this thing happened, I used that to interpret that to mean this. And I know it's not true because I know who you are. I need some clarity. Can you help me out? I got to clean this up. And me. Who's responsible? By the way, will they want to help you? Yes or no? By the way, what you're really doing here is making clear what you're really doing, which is you're doing a cry for help, maybe not crying, you're making a request for help instead of crying. Make sense? And people here, this is a request for help. Do we want to help other people, yes or no? Especially us, we're all in the helping business. That's why we do what we do. That's the bottom line. So we're going to develop a format like this where we don't suppress, but we don't just express. Because you know what happens? If you just go out there and whatever you feel you express, what you really do is you vent. And then you make it right. Or you demand. See, venting and demanding does not make communication better in the long term. How many would agree with me on this? Okay. We want to go to a different level. We want to transform our communication. We want to transform what things mean to us. Now, here's what I want to be able to have you do. I want you to be able to take the emotions that you're experiencing and be able to deal with them quickly. So I want to give you 6 steps to changing or dealing with, not dealing with, but I guess utilizing is the right word. 6 steps to utilizing any emotions you feel that you used to call negative, which now I call emotional messages, or calls to what? Calls to action. Whenever you're feeling a negative emotion, which we're now going to call emotional messages, it's a call to action and it's saying you need to change something. What do you need to change? One of 2 things. Repeat back. What are they? Change either number 1, you're what? No, well, you could change your physiology, but if you are getting feedback right now, you're getting a negative emotion, that negative emotion is a message. It's saying you got to change either your perception or your actions. And your actions could be the way you're using your body or your focus or whatever. Change your perception or your actions. Now here's what happens when you get a negative emotion or now an emotional message. Number 1, you want to identify what the emotion is. So you're starting to feel negative things. You want to identify what is the emotion. Now when you identify the emotion, what the emotion is, like you're really upset. Ask yourself, well, what am I really feeling? Underneath this, you might write down the question, what am I really feeling? What am I really feeling? So when you say, I'm upset, I'm going to say, what am I really feeling? And what might your answer be when you say, what am I really feeling? I'm upset with this person. What am I really feeling? I might be feeling hurt. Does that change how you feel in that moment as you identify that? Yes or no? Yes. And when you say, what am I really feeling? You might put a little note in your notes. Use some TV. Use some TV when you come up with your label. Transformational what? Vocabulary. So instead of saying, I'm destroyed, I'm devastated, I'm humiliated, you might say, I'm feeling a little bit hurt. Use TV and use what I call softeners. Softeners are the words like a little bit. Oh, softeners and TV. Here's the second key. Once you've identified what it is, and by the way, usually it's going to be, I have a sense of hurt or a sense of loss. Almost all emotions will probably come down to that in most cases. Is that true? In most cases, not all. Second thing you do, acknowledge and appreciate the message it has for you. Don't deny your emotions. Don't avoid your emotions. Don't suppress your emotions. Don't make them wrong. Don't share them. Start by identifying what they really are and then acknowledge and appreciate the message it has for you. In other words, acknowledge, hey, this is a real emotion. I'm glad I'm having it. It's going to have a great message for me. Then go to step 3. Get incredibly curious. Get incredibly curious as to what it has to offer you, as to what the message is. Get incredibly curious as to what the message is. Underneath this one, number 3, as you get incredibly curious as to what the message is, write down the question. What is the real message this emotion is giving me? What is the real message this emotion is trying to give me? What is the real message this emotion is trying to give me? I'll offer you some ways to do this. Let's do all 6 though so you know where we're going. Step 4. Okay, the question on 3, some of you are still there. Question number 3 is, what is the message this emotion is trying to give me? What's the real message? Number 4, get yourself to feel reassured that you can deal with this emotion. Get yourself to feel reassured that you can deal with this emotion. See, a lot of times the stress is, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? So get yourself reassured you can deal with emotion. The way you do that is, remember a time when you dealt with this emotion successfully in the past. Remember a time when you've dealt with this emotion successfully in the past. So if all of a sudden you start to feel depressed, that's a pretty negative feeling. I first of all wouldn't call it depression. I'd say a little bit down. But the first thing you do is you go, okay, I'm feeling this terrible feeling. I start to feel depressed. Well, what am I really feeling? Well, I'm really just feeling a little bit down. Okay, great. You know what? That's great. I appreciate it. That's a message. I need to get curious. What is that message? What's the message this thing's trying to give me? And what depression's message usually is, by the way, is you need to reset your priorities. That you don't feel like you're in control. that you got too many things going at once. You feel out of control when you're depressed. So what you have to do is set some priorities and go do the first one on your list. That's what the message is telling you. You feel out of control. The way to get in control, reset your priorities and go do one thing and complete it. The minute you do, your self-esteem will go right back up. So that's a message. So what's the message it's offering me? And by the way, I'm going to teach you the 9 most powerful emotions that you probably experience, what their messages are. So you won't have to wonder about this. You'll know what they are. Step 4, get yourself to feel reassured by remembering times when you dealt with this in the past. Have you ever felt a little bit down before, what you used to call depressed? How many have ever felt that way in the past? Let me see your hands.